there are a few words that you have fully removed from your marriage that you talk about, that a few of them I was like, oh, that caught me off guard. Tell me about some of those.
Well, I think the first place to start is needs. And so now I just because I've removed these from my marriage, I'm still a native English speaker, so they still come out. It's still societal, but every time I hear myself say them, I correct myself and I say, Jonathan, you sound really ridiculous. I can't. I mean, I talk to people every single day. I have I'm doing probably like 25 hours of therapy a week with couples, coaching, various forms, group calls, discovery calls. I'm talking to people all. Universally, people think in terms of getting their needs met, right? Now, the minute I hear that personally, I want to like shut down, run away, and go in the opposite direction. So I've never met anyone that loved hearing from their partner that they're not meeting their needs, that their job is to meet their partner's needs. So needs is like this horrible, icky, I think it's worse than scratching your fingers on a chalkboard. You know what I mean? Your fingernails on a chalkboard. It's like no one likes to hear the word needs, right? So I realized that we just need to banish that because, and I take it back to children. So children don't walk around saying, I need to feel loved. I need to feel a hug, or I need a hug, or children, and I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old, they walk around and they tell you what they want. I want ice cream. I want to go to the movies. I want to go to Crazy Park, which is like this outdoor or indoor, like crazy jungle gym place that my kids want to go to. They just tell you what they want. And it's adults in their lives denying them for years and years and years what their deepest desires are and what their wants are, that now all of a sudden that child turns into a teenager, a young adult, and says, oh, you know what, my wants and desires aren't worthy enough, so I'm going to convert them to a need in order to make them dire enough so that when I do finally get married or have a long-term relationship, that because I have a need, now all of a sudden, like, your job is to exist on this planet to fulfill my need, right? And so I banish that word need completely from relationships. I say, just speak in terms of what you want, right? You want to make love, you want to hug, you want to break, you want your partner to do the dishes. Just ask for what you want in the most clear, direct way possible so that you're not beating around the bush trying to cloak your wants in needs just to get them validated. So needs is an important one. Another one is boundaries. Boundaries is a word I find is completely ridiculous. I can't even imagine between two people even using the word boundary to construct some type of, I don't know, wall around me to make sure that my partner was well aware of what they could or couldn't do, right? So that doesn't mean that you can't ask for what you want. I want you to call me. I want you to not go out for lunch with that single colleague of yours that keeps wanting to DM you, right? So you don't need to cloak it in the terms of a boundary just to make it valid or to justify why you want it. You can just simply ask for it, right? So like if some dude just asked my wife out for coffee, I'd have a big issue with that. And I would basically say to my wife, I want you to say no to him, right? I don't need to say, I have a boundary that, so I like to remove some of this language. And maybe it's because when I was younger in my 20s, I studied logic, language, and argumentation theory. Maybe it's because I'm working on my fourth language. I am a language nerd and a meaning word. And I just think that the word boundary just subconsciously constructs this barrier between two people. So I don't like to speak in terms of boundaries. And you mentioned things like fix and process and stuff like that. Those are less so, but for me, those are important too, just because I don't believe any relationship I don't believe the institution of a relationship can be broken. I think people can have behaviors that don't support a healthy relationship. I would have a big problem with anyone trying to take my wife out on a date or send her random DM requests. And this is the stuff that I believe people want to hear. If people don't want these things to happen and this is their value system and their belief system for their relationship, and they're somehow made to feel like there's something wrong with them because they have these desires or these hopes or these dreams for the relationship and the way they want the relationship to flow and operate. Yet they're getting these mixed messages around the world that no, this stuff is okay, or like passwords on phones. If you're the type of person that says, no, I don't want my spouse or my partner to have their phone all locked away that I can't see it. That doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't build trust. And you got half the world telling them, oh, it's your problem. You're just insecure and your spouse is entitled to their privacy, right? I think this is where the shame comes from. And I think this is where the guilt comes from. And I think when I put out this stuff that I put out, my value system, my belief system, I think this is what people want to hear. In the Bible, it says the two become one flesh, right? The two become one, not with separate cell phones, though. Not with full on, Chinese walls in between, two people and their phone and whatnot. This when it converts over into secrecy, we've got a problem here, right? This is not what builds confidence in relationships, right? And so you don't need to have faith to go back to the Bible or to any of the other religions and their books. It's pretty universal, the message that we've learned over time in the modern age of men, and that is we should choose and cherish the person that we want to be in a long-term relationship with. And again, you don't need to believe in God. You can believe in the universe. You can believe in whatever you want. But I like to learn quickly, and I like to learn from other people's mistakes, and I also like to learn from other people's wisdoms. And so if it's telling me in multiple different forms that you want to unite, you want to choose and cherish one another, and to me that means everything open, phones included, then I think this is the direction we need to move in. And I'm not going to make the mistake of trying to build a wall of privacy around my life to keep it separate from my partner, right? And I think this is what people want to hear. And I think it's the modern age that makes people, feel shameful or guilt or fear or insecure when they're getting mixed messages about things around privacy and such. So.
What's going on, guys? If you like that clip right there, you will love the full interview. You can check that out right there. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, and subscribe because we got a lot of big things coming up in the near future.